Okay, so I'm going to call this Intuitive Thoughts for May 7th, part 2, even though apparently I said March 7th on the part 1. I'm going to attach the video to March 7th. I just went back to go and look at it. I actually wonder if maybe what was coming through was the whole trapping somebody in a deposition type thing, or trapping somebody in their testimonial, because isn't that something that's going on right now? Like, isn't that like a big deal about people getting caught in lies on the stand right now? I don't know. There's a couple other things that I attached that's in there. There's something about oranges and something about, bugs taking over crops. And that's kind of weird for me to be seeing bugs in March. So maybe that's still coming. But anyway, I'm going to attach the video to the end of this one because it'd be worth a watch to see why. Why March? What was I thinking that instead of saying May? I mean, yeah, they both begin with M, but March? I'm sitting outside on a pretty deck, like, March? I don't know. What do you think? Intuitive thoughts for March 2nd, 2026. I'm in a public place, so I'm going to go do this pretty fast, just in case, so if somebody doesn't walk in and think that I'm a total weirdo. I think there's going to be something to do with communications that are intercepted or bugged, and it's going to be a bunch of different kinds of bugs. I saw 3 of them. One that was flying, one that was like attached, and one that was planted somehow. They were not hidden they were hidden in plain sight. And there was something about the hidden in plain sight, which was a theme that I had all throughout last night. And what's interesting is I think it may come on the heels of me driving here last night. I had this thought in my head that is an intuitive thought, and it was about how all of these, depositions are being taken, and there at some point, in order to correct the system, there has to be sharper consequences for lying on the stand and for giving false information or saying that you don't know something. And what I saw while driving had to do with intentionally asking very targeted questions that we know we have proof of, and tripping people up to lie on the stand. And the lying on the stand affects their credibility, and the credibility is how they get what they want. It was a weird big circle. Like, it was a big circle. I'm sure that that's a technique that they must already use in legal systems. I'm not a lawyer, so I wouldn't really think to go there first. But expecting these people to sit down in a trial and expect them to say the truth is no longer something that we need to count on. We really need to count on the layers and layers and layers of mistruths, and start relying on the very small, finite things that we know they're going to lie about, and approaching it from that. Anyway, so this bugging thing is actually part of that somehow, and hiding in plain sight, asking the obvious questions. That was a very, very real thing on the heels of what I saw while I was driving last night. If that makes any sense. Probably doesn't. So I saw that. I'm worried about something to do with oranges. I saw that there's something to do with oranges. I didn't see freezing. I saw rotting, shriveling up, getting spots on them. That was another thing I saw while I was driving last night. I also saw something to do with like a very tiny bug that is going to take over like all sorts of plants. Not just like, I didn't see oranges in this case. This was different. But this was, the plants I saw it on were like thicker plants. They almost look like rubber tree plants. But I saw all these, and they're not aphids. They looked like aphids, but they weren't aphids. And they were taking over and killing large amounts of crops. So I saw that as well. And I think that there's going to be something that comes up very quickly, involves Afghanistan, or it's somehow a part of Afghanistan. I saw the word Afghan first, and then I didn't know if Afghan was the blanket, because I grew up calling blankets Afghans. I don't know why. I'm literally, that's my mom would make, oh, go get the Afghan. But it came up as Afghan first. I tried to sit on that, wondering if it had to do with a blanket, and then the word got longer, and so I think it's Afghanistan. So that's it. That's what I got for you. Have a great, wonderful Saturday. Oh, and the weather, the energy feels better than it did. So I think we have a break today. I don't know. I just feel like things feel a little bit better today than they did yesterday.